Meanwhile, on a bench in Central Park, New York, Emma Frost sits with her lover, Ian.
I tell him the truth, every last bit, until no more is left to tell.
Dear Lord, you're not joking.
Ian, wait!
Stay away from me, you beauty. No wonder your grades were so perfect. You've been giving yourself an unfair advantage all this time. It's true what the media says about you people. Ordinary humans like me, Christy, that poor kid Max, to you and this Astrid person, we're just playthings, toys.
Ian!
No.
Ian, please wait. You don't understand. I didn't have a choice. I never asked for these abilities. When they came, I didn't know who I could trust.
You know what? Save it for someone who isn't completely sickened by all of this. Just save it, okay? Goodbye, Emma.
But Ian, I love you.
That was a scene from the 2003 miniseries Emma Frost, but right now we would like to reenact this scene if the characterization of Emma Frost was actually the character of Emma Frost. Meanwhile, on a bench in Central Park sits Emma Frost with her lover Ian.
I tell him the truth, every last bit of it, until there's no more left to tell.
Dear Lord, you're not joking.
Ian,
Look,
just you wait.
Just stay away from me, you beauty.
What? Muty?
Beauty. Yeah, you're a mutie. What do you think of that, huh? What are you gonna do about it, bitch?
Ian, sit down.
Yes?
Now let me tell you something. When you sloppily pawed on me while I was a co-ed at your school, I was okay with it. When I saw you again and you were pawing on my roommate the same way you pawed on me all those years ago, I was okay with it. But when you showed up to this date wearing tweed, like a cliched professor, I was not okay with it.
I'm having a stroke.
Ian, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. There, I just wanted you to hear some sarcasm before you died. I think I might join the X-Men.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 127 of Comic Book Queer's Legacy, CBQ Legacy. Woo! I'm EvilJeff, and I am here with a special episode with my co-host Brett.
Hello.
Today, comics aren't on sale yet, so we're taking it back. We're taking it back to 2003. What were you doing in 2003, Brett?
In 2003, I was entertaining thoughts of moving to Chicago from Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. They're monkey's brains. Popular in Cantonese cuisine. Okay, all right, sorry. I was already in Chicago, and I had just completed grad school and was working like at an insurance
You went to
company.
grad school?
Yes, I went to grad school for film. Yeah, that's why I went to Chicago.
A master's?
I have a master's degree in film.
Oh my
which
God,
I'm
I had no
actually
idea.
using for what I do. I'm actually using it. Most people get a master's and then it's like, that was useless.
Yeah, you're actually using it. And on this podcast to some degree.
And this is episode 127, and my favorite
Yes.
K-pop band right now is NCT 127. So give them a listen. They're really cute.
Oh my God, speaking of Korea.
Yeah?
Do you know what movie I just watched? Have you seen this movie?
Which one? There's a movie I'm about to watch like in the next few days, and I'm wondering if it's going to be the same one. What?
Ooh, I wonder. Train to Busan?
Oh, no. Isn't that... that has the guy from Parasite, right?
Yes, which I had no idea.
I did not... Everyone loves it, but I actually... After Walking Dead, all zombie things I just don't do anymore.
So
But everyone says it's
we turned
amazing,
it
right?
on. It's incredible. We turned it on. I'm like, ooh, I don't know, with COVID, like, I don't know if I want to see an infection-based movie. And my husband was like, nonsense. And so he hit play, and it's essentially Zombie Train, and Kai Wu from Parasite's in it, and it's incredible. And there's a guy who kind of, he's one of our heroes. Like, what makes the zombie movie great is not that it's a zombie movie, it's our lovable band of heroes. Yeah. So, like, don't watch it for the characters, don't watch it for the zombies, watch it for the characters.
Who directed it?
Oh, I don't know the director's name.
Okay.
But one of the main characters, one of the main heroes, was so charming and so wonderful and such a great character. I looked him up, and he is playing. His American actor name is Don Lee, and I'm going to have to look up his authentic Korean name. But he's going to be playing Gilgamesh in Eternals.
Ooh.
I was like, wait, awesome. the guy who I love from Train to Busan is one of the leads in Eternals? So, loved it.
That's awesome. No, the movie I was thinking of, I'm about to see a movie called The Handmaiden. Have you seen that one?
No, I've heard of it.
It came out a few years ago. It's basically like a Korean, like, period piece version of, like, Bound. For, like, remember that Wachowski brothers?
Yes.
It's, like, lesbian double-crossing. Like, it looks... I read the plot of it. And
like Diabolique?
Yeah. It's just, like... There's, like, a wife, a husband, and a maid, and they're all, like, double-crossing each other, and they're all fucking each other. So that's just what I've read from, like, kind of the basic, one-sentence preview of what the movie is. And I'm like, that sounds good to me. I'm in.
Sounds good to me. I'm in. I'm down for Bound. The actor whose name I'm talking about is Ma Dong-seok.
Nice.
And I think for American audiences, he will be going by Don Lee. But he reminded me of a Logan type. He was very Wolverine-y on Train to Busan.
Since we're going crazy on Korean stuff, I have been watching. The only thing that's getting through my panic-induced insanity is watching.
Your Thai soap operas?
Well, I ran out of Thai gay soap operas because they all come out on Friday. So I watched them all on Friday, and then I'm like, I need more. So now I've been watching just straight Korean soap operas because they're just as insane and over the top. And I'm watching it's the Korean, like, Ugly Betty.
Ooh.
It's called She Was Pretty. And the main star in it, the guy who's, like, so hot, where there's two guy stars. One is, like, a K-pop star. And the other one, he plays the friend that gets the guy the job in Parasite.
Okay, yep.
And his name is Park Seo-joon. And it's basically, she has to choose between either the hot, dumb, goofy guy or the hot, bossy, like, uptight guy. And you're just like, just have a threesome. But the thing that's funny that I just want to bring up is it's the Ugly Betty, where she's ugly, but it's clearly played by a rail-thin model. And the way they make her ugly is by giving her a perm and giving her freckles. And they're just like, and she's this gorgeous woman, but with a perm and freckles. And they're like, you're so ugly. like guys are like, ew, what are you doing here? You're so ugly. And I'm like, she literally could just walk down a catwalk. So you have to suspend disbelief because it's a cute movie. But it's fun. Yeah, Koreans do it best. But you know what? We're not here to talk about Korean stuff. We're here to talk about Emma fucking Frost.
Yeah, we're here to talk about Bostonian stuff.
Bostonian. Oh. No, I realize Emma Frost talks like Haley Mills, North Boston character from Parent Trap. Did you ever see the old Parent Trap?
Oh, I can't recall what she sounds like.
In the old, she just was British. She was like, hello, I'm from Boston. And you're like, that's not the accent.
So we're going to talk about the Emma Frost solo series from 2003, written by, I believe, Kyle Ballers.
Yeah.
And
when did you read it originally? Did you read it right when it came out, or did you read it like...
right when it came out, but I did not make it through all 18 issues.
I read it probably...
I did not see it through.
I read it when we started doing the podcast again, and I got back into comics. I read it around like 2008, so a couple years after. And I remember I was not into it. I wasn't into it.
Yeah, I got through the first, so the run lasted 18 issues. It was 3 6-issue arcs. It was the origin story of Emma Frost from her childhood, her teenage years, into her kind of going off on her own and eventually becoming the White Queen. To me, so I think I got through the first 6 issues.
Okay.
Originally in 2003, hot off the tails of Morrison's run.
Yeah, and that's the main problem, is you're hot off the tails of Morrison's run with the most amazing portrayal of Emma Frost you've ever read. And then you open up this. What did you remember of it before you started reading it again? What did you remember? Did you just remember that you didn't like it? Did there anything that stuck out to you?
I remember really having an aversion to the covers, to Greg Horn's.
Thank you.
Cheesecake covers.
These cheesecake porno Hustler magazine covers are awful. Especially awful. Because inside she's a weak little nothing. And on the outside you just see her like, I'm a vampy slut. Well, wow, she's a slutty vamp with her boobs hanging out. And then we open to page 1 and she's 14 years old? No.
Right. There's no connection between
problematic in so many ways.
The expectation the cover is setting and the story. And I wonder if Marvel was like, she's such a popular character right now, we have to do a thing about her. And, you know, this origin makes sense, but we need to sell this book because...
Well, I'm going to throw this out. The origin does not make sense. Who
is this book written for?
The origin does not make sense.
No, not at all.
All right, so let's just hey guys, you like Emma Frost? Of course you do. You're listening to this. And most people who listen to this, they're probably younger than us. So they were probably in fucking diapers when this fucking thing came out. So they didn't read it. So I'm going to give you the quickest of plots. Emma Frost is growing up in a rich family. She has 2 sisters, her gay brother Christian, who we've talked about, and her dad is literally like, you can't even write, like, he says things I'm like, who, like, even the most evil human being on the planet would not be this horrible of a dad.
He's so one-sided, horrible for no reason other than he's just horrible.
Can I go to the dance now that you said if I got B's, I could go to the dance. Can I go to the dance, Daddy? No, because a B's bad too. You need A's now. Toots.
Oh, it's stressful.
So basically the dad is awful. The sisters are awful. The only person she likes is Christian. She basically falls in love with her teacher. The dad finds out, kicks the teacher out of school, tortures her.
Ruins the teacher's career,
tortures her, and then has her brother committed to a mental institution for being gay. And the other thing, at this point, we know that the other sister is also a mutant and has powers, and they only she has psychometry? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, like long shot without the luck.
She can touch things and see the future. And so they hint at it, but never really dig into it.
They never reveal it.
And then it cuts to her running away, and then there's a whole mob chase 6-issue arc of her being kidnapped in New York. And then she's like, now I'm in college. And then there's a whole college where the teacher is back and she's jealous because her roommate is dating him. This is a travesty, Brett.
It's ridiculous. And then at the college, she meets a character by the name of Astrid Bloom, who is a telepath who's picked up on Emma and teaches Emma how to use her powers finally. And at that moment, like, we're so deep in the run, I'm like, we've never gotten to like, hey, I'm concerned. I'm interested in my powers now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She just,
and she's
was
always
never
bad,
a
and
thing.
she's bad at them. She doesn't know how to use her powers. And she's like 18, 19. She apparently started running the school with the Hellions and was already in the Hellfire Club by the time she was like 21. So by 18, she's like, I don't get it. What's the powers I have? She's a weak little noodle of a person. But every once in a while, she's just like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, where did that come from?
Where did that come from?
Like, it's so... Flames on the side of my face.
On the side of my face.
Burning, breathless.
Breathless. Heaving breaths.
Here's my other thing is like, I blame Joe Quesada because they went in being like, all right, we got to do Emma Frost. All right, so you're going to just show how she joined the Hellfire Club and became the White Queen? No. We're just going to show her in college and she's hung up on a boy. Who approved this?
Like, what was the point of it? Is to really establish her as heroic, as sympathetic?
Maybe that's because she was a hero. They didn't want her to be bad, but she was bad. Like, I want to see how she joined the Hellfire Club. Rather than seeing this other Astrid person show up, how come it couldn't have been... Where's Sebastian Shaw should have shown up at some point?
So, Astrid... This is the thing that drives me the most nuts about this series is essentially the subtitle should be how Emma Frost got her fake British accent, because I think after she met Astrid Bloom, the British telepath, she started using her same affectations. Like she was just copying her because she thought she sounded cool. Like what? Because like she was emulating Astrid, or maybe she sucked a piece of her mind in her. Who the hell knows?
I don't know.
But really, like, this whole thing was leading up to, like, why does Emma talk with a faux British accent like Madonna used to? Well, because it was what Madonna used to do, and Morrison thought that would be funny. We don't need an 18-issue run to answer this question.
But we know that Emma joined the Hellfire Club and kind of started as, like, a dancer, and then...
She did the dance of the seven veils to seduce them. It was her job application.
To the top, right?
Yeah, and telepathied her way to the top,
her way to the top. And that's my thing is like, where's that story? That's only been told in like flashbacks and montages. That's the interesting story. I would love to see how an innocent girl turned into that. And I honestly feel the first 6 issues, I don't mind her being in high school and being like that. And then she runs away to New York and and then goes into the Hellfire Club and then has to become that evil bitch. And then the last 6 issues, rather her being in college, maybe she is in college, but then it's her coming back and getting revenge on her whole fucking family. Like, that's what it should have been about, don't you think?
Right. It moves so slow to go nowhere. And it could have just ramped up and been like this really exciting story of how this person who started heroic and struggled with her powers wound up in this fucked up position.
Exactly.
But instead it goes nowhere near that.
And
it's just this insipid, like, back and forth. The middle arc of, like, the back and forth with the boyfriend and gambling at casinos to get the money that he owes to the mob.
If you pulled it out, because she stole her dad's money and ran away to never see him again. And then suddenly she's like, I'm in college, my dad's paying for it. And I'm like, what? You were in hiding.
Like, is it a different writer?
You were in hiding. It felt like the writers just weren't. I don't know. Was it the same writer the whole way through?
Yeah, I think so.
Ugh. Well, shame on him. Because I just was very upset. I just remember not liking it, and then I just really didn't like it. Like, I really didn't like it rereading it. It just, like, re-emphasized everything. Also, this took place in 2003, and it kept saying 10 years ago, but everyone's on 2003 cell phones. It's like, did you just know that no one would read this until 2013, and then that would make sense?
What a, like, I it's so bad. I want to do a documentary about how it was made.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like, it's not even like, at least Showgirls is like good bad. This isn't even good bad. It's literally like, has this person...
Boring garbage.
I almost feel like this person was like, hey, read Astonishing X-Men and then write this Emma Frost book. And they never read New Mutants and
like, what
Dark
character
Phoenix.
is this?
Yeah. It's like, this is the person 2 years away from becoming the White Queen and trying to murder Kitty Pryde.
There's no evil streak. There's no trademark wit.
No.
There's no sex addiction. There's no like
alcohol
thinking
addiction.
of a guy in sunglasses.
There's no
alcohol and drug addiction. Like who is this?
I mean, it should have been Christian. Should have been like, here, honey, you need a martini. I'm 14. Shut up, bitch. Let's drink.
Exactly. Well, while he had 3 dicks in him.
Yeah, and then she's like, and now I'm because that's what did happen with Christian? Did she just leave him in the mental institution?
Yeah. But he hung himself. Was that before or after he was committed? It was before? And he was committed because he hung himself? He tried to kill himself?
Did any of these characters exist before this run?
Morrison invented the family, the Frosts. I'm pretty sure.
And then Morrison have the
Christian, Adrian, and Cordelia were created by him.
Did Grant Morrison? When was that? Was it in the Uncanny?
2001.
Were they actually in the run?
Yes. It was the issue where the Phoenix got attacked after Jean caught Emma and Scott having the affair on the astral plane.
Oh, right.
The whole issue of Jean like dragging Emma and going through.
Oh, it's going through her mind. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm just so
and
upset.
To not reveal it's just so like I get maybe they were like, okay, your shit's canceled. He's like, oh, but I never revealed that Adrian has telemetry. And it's like, well, at least they can get that in there somehow.
Yeah, because it kept being like, how did you know all of this? And she's like, I have my ways. I'm like, fucking say it. Because that's the other thing is also that sister, she fucking kills her. Like this is the sister she ends up shooting because she's
this is the sister who killed Sink.
Yeah, because this is the person where it's like, oh, she's gonna murder all my students. I'm going to fucking kill her. You know what I mean? Like, I want more. I need to see yes. You need to end up reading this being like, yes, she does. She is going to need to kill her. You know what I mean?
And then didn't Cordelia Frost wind up with Mondo?
Did she?
I distinctly remember.
Does she have powers?
I don't think so. I think she was hanging out with Mondo in like early Generation X.
I don't know. How much younger was she?
I mean, she was still like young.
Yeah, I don't know.
So wait, I guess Cordelia Frost wasn't invented by Morrison if she was in Gen X.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
Because Gen X came... Yeah, and so the other sister was... And yeah.
Yeah. So I do think that Morrison... I'm sorry, so yes. Morrison did not invent Adrian and Cordelia. She did invent Christian. Or he did invent Christian, right. I believe.
Here's a food for thought. Wait, what's the other sister's name who she murdered?
Adrian.
Do you think they brought Adrian back?
Ooh.
I wonder. These are things that I would love to hear, being like, Christian, let's bring your sister back. Let's not, and just say we did. All right.
Cordelia first made an appearance when she discovered Mondo.
What does that mean? When she discovered...
She made an appearance, a mutant who saved her life on Samoa. Oh. The two became friends, but Cordelia later turned Mondo over to the Hellfire Club's inner circle.
Okay. Does it say she has powers or anything?
I'm going to say no. Wait, yes, it does say. She does not have any powers.
Interesting. What are Christian Frost?
Oh, wait. Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
What?
Mind control. Cordelia is able to create personalities that possess her victim's mind.
Wait, she's able to what?
In this way...
Possess minds?
Yeah.
What?
She mind control, empathy.
See,
possesses the power to read emotions and project emotions.
I bet you that's in Generation X. I tried to get through Generation X, and it got real hard after a while. It got real bad.
It gets real bad.
It gets real bad, and I didn't even make it. Like once it hit Age of Apocalypse for a bit. I forget what it was called during Age of Apocalypse. I just couldn't continue on. The whole penance or whatever, all of that, I just wasn't into it.
Was it Scott Lobdell the entire time? I wonder.
I don't know, but Scott Lobdell, there's not a single thing he wrote that I liked. He took over, when he took over Excalibur, he ruined it. Why? What did you like?
Yeah, but he wrote Happy Death Day.
What? Are you serious? That's Scott Lobdell?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
How? How is the person who wrote my most hated comics wrote one of the funniest horror movies I've seen?
Oh my God, like right when the credits begin at the end, it says written by Scott Lobdell.
I must have totally blacked that out because I hate him so much. Because he was the one who was like, after Jim Lee left and Chris Claremont left, let's just have Scott Lobdell write everything and have
he did like the Hunt for Xavier,
and have Andy Kubrick draw everything, and it was like
my most hated.
And it was just like, it just went from the best writing and best art to the worst writing and worst art in like one issue. Ugh. That was like, remember in Excalibur, there was like a 20-issue run of where Chris Claremont stopped writing it and Alan Davis stopped drawing it. And it was like, when are they coming back?
Yeah.
It was all that like time. What was it? The Cross Time Caper side adventure. It was like, oh my God.
Back to Gen X, I feel like it got, like, for me, I think it jumped the shark at issue 25. I think I remember the first. That was when it was revealed, I believe, that Mondo was like a Black Tom Cassidy plant, and like Black Tom attacked. Right.
Yeah. That's the thing is,
like during the Adrian stuff, it was horrible.
But then it was like Monet was also. Was it Penance was part of Monet, or she was Monet? Wait, she was.
It was revealed that it was the twins. It was her twin sisters that merged to form Monet after Empath turned the real Monet into Penance. And then after they split and Penance turned back into Monet, there was still a Penance running around who they called Hollow.
Right.
Because
that was so convoluted and didn't make any sense. And then you had two characters that were like, they weren't what you thought. And it was like, it was too... I hated it. And also Jubilee. I hate Jubilee. I just never liked her. I never liked her. Oh, no, that's not true. I liked her when her, Wolverine, and Psylocke were wandering around Madripoor. Remember that?
No.
What?
Wait, say it again?
When Psylocke became Asian... She was discovered by Wolverine and Jubilee.
Of course.
And the whole time, Jubilee's like, why are we trusting? Wasn't she a bad guy? And Wolverine's like, she's good now. And she's like, she's fine. She's like, I'll never trust her ever. Like, that was like fun.
And Psylocke's like, fine, child.
Yeah, she's like,
fine,
whatever, bitch. Like, that's fun. I wish in the Excalibur run that they kind of like would bring that up. Remember when you were Asian and I hated you? But that's Betsy saying that to Jubilee. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, baby. I feel like we should end it there.
So, guys,
that's such a good one.
We read Emma Frost, the miniseries, so you didn't have to.
That's right. Please don't ever. And so, the other atrocity that the Emma Frost solo series created for me was... So I had bought the collected works. I bought the trade paperback that was the whole run, issues 1 through 18. And in the inside front cover, it was advertising like other issues or stories or runs or titles that had Emma Frost in it.
Okay.
And one of them was a book from 2010 called Heralds.
Heralds?
I want to say Heralds.
H-A-R?
Yeah.
Like the
H-E, Heralds.
Improv form?
No. Like a Herald of Galactus.
I'm kidding, yes. Okay.
Heralds. Have you heard of this?
No.
I am looking up the year. I'm going to double check.
It says
2010.
2010.
So look at the cover.
What's that? Valkyrie? Emma Frost? Spectrum? Oh, wait. Is this the one where she's like, they're all shopping and then they have to like battle somebody?
They're at Emma's surprise birthday party.
Yes, okay. I have
Scott
read this.
arranges for her.
I have read this. Oh, I liked this one.
I did not.
You did?
I could not follow it. It's ultimately about the return of Frankie Ray, Nova, the Herald of Galactus.
Oh, okay.
But aside from the beginning of
I think I just like the shopping
Cyclops,
part, where they were just like, oh,
yeah,
it's
the
time
party.
for my party.
So it opens with Scott and Emma like in a hotel room looking at the Eiffel Tower out the window, and she's in like a pissy mood and he's being playful, and they're having some pillow talk, and then she's looking at the Eiffel Tower and she's like, I never thought you really had a sense of humor, and this like proves it, or something like that. And then they pan out and you realize that they're not in Paris. They're at Paris in Vegas. Yeah. I think that's so funny. I love that Scott was like, we're going to Paris, and then took her to fucking Vegas.
But I will say this beginning part where, it's also Agent Brand and Patsy Walker. They need to have a Jessica Jones in there. I'm surprised.
But like, how do these people know each other?
That, who knows?
They're like, they show up for Emma's birthday party wearing mustaches as like a gag, like they're friends, and this is some bit they do together. It's Brand, She-Hulk, Hellcat, Monica, and Valkyrie. Like, why? What?
Well, Brand knows Emma. I'm sure that they've, I don't know. Yeah, it is kind of, and it is also ridiculous. Like, not even like Kitty or Storm, like not a single other X-Men shows up to her birthday.
I mean, it's ludicrous. I love that Emma's getting played like this, but Jesus, the story made no sense. And it was like, things happened on panels and I was like, wait, what? And I had to go back and like, wait, so you didn't establish that? You just like said it. It was just Catherine Emmerman was the writer, and it was just not writing that spoke to me.
Aw.
But what a weird book.
Oh, Emma.
Again, we should be rewriting. That's what this podcast should be. You and I, we rewrite all the bad Emma Frost stories out there, right? And we make them good.
What would you like? Is there anything interesting in her? Like, if you were doing the Emma, I'm not asking for a full plot detail, but if you were writing her origin story, is there anything that you would have done, like that you were like, this needs to be in there, like especially with the Hellfire Club stuff?
I don't know. I think there would be like some kind of I was gonna say like a Cyclops nod, like a guy who kind of reminded us of Scott.
Yeah.
But I don't. Why should it be about guys? Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
I would want a little bit of like kink in her origin story. There was no kink in this, and there's even like a cover where she's like kind of looking over her shoulder at a white like lingerie ensemble in a window, and it's like, but that character on the cover who's doing that is not the character in this book.
Yeah, like she goes into the Hellfire Club because that boyfriend from New York was like, hey, let's go here. And that's where she has to get a job, like doing dishes or something.
Right.
And then she works her way up from sub to dom, you know?
I would want a character that has a little kink in her, but more importantly, like has this wit and this caring and like all these good qualities we love about her.
And she's like,
and
she
just
ends up
have those kind of try to come out, but like be repressed by others, and like, but you see that it's who she is, and then she turns up the volume as like a defense mechanism, like just exploring these weird aspects of her that she's like the coldest one, but also the funniest one, and also the most compassionate one.
The times when Emma Frost turns murderous and turns evil, it is always in the defense and defending and protecting people.
Yes.
Well, except for Scott, that was more love rage, but we were also pretending that didn't happen. When she
I don't know what you're talking about.
When she murdered the Inhumans. Anyway, but most of the other time, like even when she killed her sister, was to protect her students, you know? Like a lot of times when she went batshit crazy, took over Iceman's body, it's because she was still mourning that all the Hellions were killed.
Leah Williams describes Emma Frost as having a brutal heart.
Exactly. I love that.
And that's what I would want to see. Yeah.
I love a brutal heart. I mean, in reality, it's probably not the best to date. But narratively, it's the best.
And that's why Emma Frost is the best.
Because that's the thing is, there's something about, have you ever had your honor defended? Like, have you ever had, like, someone you were dating, like, beat someone up or basically tell someone to fuck off?
No, I'm that guy.
Have you done that? Have you done that?
I do it for people every goddamn day.
But, I mean, a literal physical altercation to protect somebody that you were... Not someone I was romantic with.
Oh, okay. I never had the opportunity. Friends, though.
All right. I've done that for some friends, too. But the idea of, like, if you're, like, on a date, and we're both not single, so we just have to, like, you're on a first date, and you know, and then you're walking down the street and suddenly like a mugger comes and the guy you're on the date with fucking punches the mugger in the face and kicks him, and then you like keep on walking. Like, tell me that wouldn't make you wet.
Oh, totally.
But in reality, I think if that did happen, I'd be like, oh, he could probably beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, I've seen too many gay movies where that ends in like the hero dying and then the boyfriend he saved having to live with grief. That's how I see that unfolding.
I am 100% over gays dying in anything anymore.
Yeah, like, we need stop burying the gays.
Yeah, I feel like we just need to put a moratorium of like just a couple years before gay characters can die, because it's like just so that the straight characters can catch up a little more, because the gay characters are dying too much. That's why I can't watch Chinese gay soap operas, because the only way they make them happen is if they die at the end. So they always end tragically.
Ugh. It's a trope I will not tolerate.
I mean, the lesbians can die. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want lesbians dying either. I don't want anyone dying.
Nobody should die except straights.
I want every straight person to fucking die. No, I'm just kidding.
Ugh. No.
Can you imagine if there was a House of M moment, but with gay people? Where it was
like we just got our,
where it was just
paradise?
Like no more
straights.
No more straights.
No more heteros.
No, where it just turned out where instead the amount of gay people that was the amount of straight people.
Ooh, we flipped the ratio?
Yeah, you flip the ratio. So it's just a natural thing that you get together with a woman and then you, or like you get together with your same sex and you adopt children. Children aren't, you know what I mean? But then there's those.
Yeah, but we put those straight people in like factories.
Yeah,
where
there's
they have
these rogue straight people that
us.
are like made a baby in a gross natural
way. They have to make our babies, you breeders.
Breeders. I need to yell that at straight people again.
I think we should bring breeders back.
Yeah. Know what else? I just found, I was recently rewatching some old YouTube videos I made, and I forgot there was another insult that I was like, oh, that's a really harsh one. That if I believe I said that to someone, that they would probably get angry.
What?
If you're really mad at someone, instead of calling him a slut or a whore, call him a cum catcher. Shut up, you fucking cum catcher. That stings. Doesn't that sting?
Oh, I knew you weren't talking to me, and it still stung.
I'm putting that in my back pocket for when someone really pisses me off.
For when I really need to read someone for filth.
Yeah.
Listen, cum catcher.
Anyway, well.
That's what Emma should have said to Ian. Listen, you cum catcher.
Oh my God. Well, Emma Frost.
All right.
Well,
that was it.
I think
that was it.
Aren't things coming out next week?
No.
They still aren't?
No.
Do you have any updates on when comics are happening?
No. So here's the problem. There's one distributor who gets the books from the printer to the retail stores.
Yeah.
And they're not operating. Like, they have shut down indefinitely. So there is currently no mechanism to get comic books to comic book stores.
Yes, but they were stopping releasing digital copies for the purpose of saving comic book stores. But isn't there going to be a certain point where they're going to be like, hey, we're going to have to release these. What, are they just going to not release any comics for a year? They're going to have to release them digitally at some point, right?
This is what the big publishers need to do. So TKO Comics, which is small comics publisher, they are saying you can order books digitally from our site. And what we're going to do is when you buy, we're going to ask you what comic book store you typically buy from. And then we're going to send 50% of the sale to that comic book store. And that's what stores get. They get 50% of the cover price.
Yeah.
So why can't all the publishers just come together and say, look, we're going to provide digital copies, but we're going to send 50% of every digital copy we sell to the comic book store of your choosing? Like, why would you not do that? It's because of fucking greed.
Yeah.
But that's what publishers should be doing. I should be able to go to Marvel.com, order digital copies, and read my books and say, I want my money to go to Midtown Comics in Times Square.
But I mean, this basically comes down to, but that's the weird thing, how come it seems like even there isn't a small distributor that's being like, I'm going to do that?
Nope.
Okay.
It is literally just Diamond. So now I'm like, how do I get into the comic book distribution business?
Well, damn it.
I'm so angry. I need to go scream into a pillow.
Well, we'll leave it as a surprise for next week because we don't know what we're going to read yet. But we'll probably be digging back into another run and watching some things. We'll watch something.
Yes, we shall watch something.
Because you're bored and you need to listen to us, right? You have nothing to do. And what better things to do than listen to these two homosexuals talk about their love of Emma Frost, right?
Listen, you're bored. We're phoning it in. What are we going to do about it?
We're all hanging by a thread here. These podcasts are all we have left.
And seriously, thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to leave us a review, you can do that. Please leave us a nice one on whichever platform you listen to the show through. And remember, everybody, listen, if you read comics, well, that makes you a queer.
Queer.
Bye.
Bye.